Welcome to One Brothas Mind, and I am KD Smooth. Today we will question and challenge popular information and views from a B1 perspective, while we expose the real facts you need. We do this to strengthen your logical, critical, and discerning thinking skills. Because in today's world, hard choices are mandatory and they come with consequences. So you need all the information. And at One Brothas Mind, we do this from a B1 Yeshua the Christ followers perspective. Now, if you're not ready, you better get ready with KD Smooth at One Brothas Mind. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's KD Smooth coming back at you once again. We're doing our part 2 of our video prices, cost, and the cost of living increasing. Can you survive? We're doing part 2. The original video, it actually, Mr. BooTube Man cut it off about in the middle of the video. They chopped it off, so I'm back to restream part 2 where we can pick up where we left off in the previous video. I have just a little bit more of items that I wanted to cover to provide solutions and helpful information for those that can benefit from it, to help them save some money here and there where they can. So where we had left off, family, we had went over our the meat items. Well, don't want to do that yet. We went over the meat packaging and discount meats and what have you. We covered that, and now we were moving on to the next segment, which I wanted to cover this. I had brought up in the previous part 1 video how to really take advantage of these sales ads that most of the grocery stores run, but you got to know how to read them, how to use them, and how to compare them to the other store weekly ads. And again, family, there's some people that this was never explained to, so that's why I'm going over these. This one here, as you can see, happens to be a Kroger sales ad. There's just a few tips I want to break down so that you know how to utilize these to save you money. All right, right off the bat, you see all these different little price tags and what have you. For example, right here at the top left, you see this buy one get one free option. It's called the BOGO option in most sales ads. Can't talk today. Buy one get one free. Well, to someone that doesn't know, they go, oh man, I can buy 1 pack of chicken and this chicken and get a second pack for free. So I'm really getting it like half price, or that's a great deal. Yes and no. The BOGO ads, no matter what grocery store you see them listed as or in the sales ads, it depends on the price of the original item, or in this case, the first pack of chicken. How much is that first pack of Tyson chicken? Sometimes the price is a good price. Other times the store, they know they've put this in their weekly ad. Oftentimes the stores will actually increase the price of a single pack of this chicken because they know people are coming in thinking or expecting to get a good deal to buy 1 pack and get a second pack free. So they'll increase the price of 1 pack to help them compensate and make more money because they know they're giving people a second pack for free. You make sure you understand that. So depending on how much the pack or the first pack of chicken is priced at, is what you need to find out. Okay? And in most cases, you can't call the store and like just ask them what the price of this pack of chicken is right now. Because what you need to do, you need to know what that price is. And you also need to know what the other stores are selling the same size pack of chicken and type of chicken for. And again, you may find that this pack of chicken at Kroger, the price is actually higher than what they're selling the chicken packs for at other stores. So then you got to do your calculations, right? Because at Kroger's, you're getting 2 packs instead of 1. So then you got to divide whatever the price for the original pack of chicken is, you got to divide that by 2. That's all. And that'll give you what you're paying for each pack, basically. And then you compare that price to the price of the same packs of chicken type, size, and everything at other stores. That's how you determine if you're getting a really good sales price or not. And it doesn't matter what the item is, chicken, whatever. When it's coming to the BOGO stuff, this is the process. Well, how much is the first pack? Divide that by 2. Now you know how much you're paying per pack. Compare that price to the other prices at the other store. That's all. And you may also be considering buying larger in bulk size packs of chicken, say at a warehouse. In that case, you need to compare the price for your BOGO chicken here that's on your screen. You need to get it down to the per ounce price. And then at the warehouse, you got to look up what is their per pound price for the same type of chicken. Per ounce price. So you're comparing per ounce to per ounce, because in most warehouses they list their meats by ounces primarily, and then some by pound. But so you got to get the per ounce price for this. In this example, Kroger chicken versus the per ounce price for the chicken at the wholesale club. Okay? Either way, you got to compare price to price. And that's how you discover which price is the cheapest price for you and your family. And that tells you where or what store to go and get. Because again, it's not guaranteed just because you see BOGO that's a great sale price. It's not guaranteed. And I'm stressing, oftentimes these stores, they make these ads, but they purposely that week or during that sale time period for that week, they will increase the prices of certain items. Like in this case, it would be potentially BOGO chicken packs, because they know they're actually selling and giving away, or if you will, 2 packs for the price of 1. Okay? That's one quick tip. Let's go down and look at some others. Again, you can see an item that you like, oh, I need this from a store, or I want to get this from a store. Just because it says it's on sale don't mean, like for this $5.99 item, for all you know, the normal sales price at this store for this item on any other day of the week outside of this sales ad could be $5.99 for all you know. But they got it printed in the sales ad as if it's an actual sale, and it may not be. Again, that's why you have to price check and compare. Find the same item at other stores and figure out what the per ounce or per pound or per box or each or whatever it is. You got to calculate what that price is at this store that you're looking at compared to that same item or same size item at other stores. That's the only way you find out which store today, as you're looking, has the best or cheapest price. Once you find that out, you make a note of that in your notebook, and if you want that item right now, you go to that store and get just that item and walk out. Or you may have a short list of 3 or 4 or 5 items. Go get just those sale items from that store that you have researched and confirmed is the best sale price today at store number 1. So go to store number 1, get those sale items that you've identified, and leave. Don't buy none of the other stuff. I already explained why not. So that's another aspect. They got all kind of little tricks. Of course, everybody sees. You see it on your screen. Free. Same thing. This is basically still BOGO. Buy one, get one free. Or in this one, buy 2, get 1 free. You still have to figure out the price. How much, in this case, at the bottom left corner, how much are they selling the box of Hamburger Helper for? Most places, they running about $1.50 or so a box right now. If, in this example, you go to the store and the boxes are still right around $1.50 or so, and they're still BOGO, where you buy 2 of them, you get a third free. So what that means, you're getting, about 20 cents off each box. Okay, and then you take that price, once you do the calculations, and compare that sale price to the other store sale price for the same item. Which one is a better price? If it turns out it's this BOGO Kroger option, then you put this on your list to get from Kroger's. It's just that simple. But again, what I'm stressing here with these weekly deal sales ads is you have to, don't just look at them and go, ooh, I'm going to get that there. That's a good price. You have to find the same item at the other stores, checking, say, their sales ads or their websites, find out what their price is, and that's how you compare. Okay, one other pro tip in regards to these sales ads. Okay, here's one. Right here where you see over to the right of your screen where these potatoes are, these red potatoes, and the orange and yellow bell peppers, the 2 for $5. There are some other little hidden tricks that these stores put in their sales ad. Right now, you just see 2 of these, of any of these 3 items for $5. You go, oh, that's a great price. I'm going there and getting that. Well, if you look just below the 2 for $5, it says with card. So what that means is you have to have a Kroger's Plus customer card to get this price. If you go to buy these items and you don't have that card on file in with you or on your phone through the mobile app or whatever, if you don't have that little barcode for your card, you're not going to get this price. You're going to get the regular price. Okay, most people that shop at Kroger understand it and know that already up front. So a lot of them, like with the chicken, it doesn't say with card below it, but you see with this little pork tenderloin in the middle, it says with card below the free. And then over to the right, below the 2 to 5, it says with card. A lot of people that are not familiar with Kroger's, if that's where they are going, they see this ad, they get excited, they run in to go get these items, and they don't have a card. If that happens to you, just ask the person at the register or what have you for a card. Most of the time they will give you one, or they'll send you to the service desk, and you can quickly fill out the little paperwork for a card and get one, and then you can get the discount price. Okay. Now the other reason why I bring that up, say there's other stores, like in my area we have Myers. Similar concept, but one of the tricks that Myers does, like there's in this Kroger ad, you read the fine print below, and the round is 2 for $5. If you can click on it and it'll make it bigger, do so. Read the fine print. A lot of times, if there's a quantity limit, it's listed in the fine print of the actual ad here on Kroger's. It'll say limit so many per customer or per transaction, whatever the case may be. You need to know that as well, because if you're thinking I'm gonna go in and get 10 of these and the limit is 1, you're gonna be really pissed off going through that line. They're gonna tell you they're gonna charge you regular price for 9 and only give you a discount on one of them. With the Meijer weekly ads, they play that game big time, and Meijer's actually hides the quantity limits. Okay, instead of with card on Meijer's, it'll say M, as in like Mary, the letter M, perks. And all that is you got to have a Meijer's customer card, right? And you go, okay, I got one of them, no problem. So I can get this price with my M perks card. You go to Meijer's, exactly the same way you do going to Kroger's with your Kroger card. But on the Meijer sales ads, especially if it says M perks below the price or anywhere near the item that you're looking at, you have to click on it, and the ad will actually expand for that one item, and there'll be oftentimes more fine print, and there they may list limit 1 per customer or 1 per transaction. But you won't know that if you don't click that Meijer's ad on their weekly ad listing. You see that? So y'all plan to go to Meijer's, they got something that's a good sales price. You're like, woo, I'm going to get 10 of these. And you didn't click that ad in their weekly ad, and it take you to the larger view of that ad where you can see all of the fine print and read it. And at the bottom line, it'll say limit 1 per transaction or something like that. Do that. Make sure you do that on every item in whatever store's weekly ad that you're viewing. Make sure you drill down on the fine print to confirm if there's any quantity limits, because that's something that will definitely piss you off. And Meijer's, like I said, they are purposely hiding it. It'll just say M perks. It doesn't show you the quantity limit like what you see on your screen on the base ad. You actually have to click on the peppers or the chicken or whatever it is, and another box will open on their site, and it'll have more fine print, where somewhere at the bottom of that fine print, it'll show whatever the quantity limits are, if there are quantity limits. Don't get caught by that. Okay? And so ultimately what I'm saying, Meijer's is lying to customers. If we were looking at a Meijer's ad, just like we're looking at this ad right now, instead of saying with card, it says M perks on the Meijer's ad. But there's no information on any of the listings that you see on the main page that say anything about quantities. So they're hoping you see the sales price. You don't know, nobody has told you, you got to click on the ad to actually go to the next little page or expanded view to see what the limits are. There's nothing that tells you, the customer, that that's what you got to do to find that information out. So Myers, in my opinion, is actually one of those stores that's lying to customers. You see this great price and you go, ooh, I'm going to Myers later on today to go get me some of those. And you're thinking you're going to get that price. You're like, I got my Myers card, so I get the sales price. And you go get 5 or 10 of that item, and you get to the register and you're looking at them, ring it up, and you got the sales price on one item, one of them, but the other 4 or the other 9 of those you paying regular price for. It rang up that like, you're like, wait, those supposed to be all on sale for this price. Then they'll get back and there's only the sales for 1 per transaction. Gonna completely piss you off because you realized you've been lied to by literally the company and their ad. In my opinion, it's false advertisement. Where it says with card in the fine print, if there's some a quantity limit, it should be, the law should be, they should have to list the quantity limit right on their weekly ad sheet like we're viewing right now. If it doesn't show a quantity limit listed in the fine print here, you shouldn't have to click 2 or 3 more times to find out what the quantity limit is. It should be right next to the sell price. Do you understand? All right. Let me see. Is there any other tidbits? I mean, the sales ads in general are basically a hustle, family, to catch your eye on something you see that you need to pick up from a store, and it's to get you in the store. You want some corn. Okay, great. I'm going to Kroger's today. Okay, great. You go in, get the corn. That you've confirmed that's the best, cheapest price, right? Okay, good deal. But while you're in the store, they're hoping you're going to be lazy, like I told you before, and buy other items. And that's where they're going to make their money back and make their profit when you're buying the other items from them. Just go and get your sales confirmed, sell price items that you need to get and leave. Like here in this case, over here on the left by the smoked sausage here, you say with digital coupon. Kroger's scam that's similar to Myers' scam that I explained earlier is this one, with digital coupon. But at least Kroger's tell you to get this price, it has to be with the digital coupon. And what that means is you got to go to a different, like at the top of the Kroger's ad, I'm putting a little line under it where it says in the sky blue area, digital coupons, right in the middle toward the top of your screen. Next to where it says weekly ad, you can't see my mouse, but there's a underline happening. You got to click there, find this smoked sausage item in the digital coupons, and then you have to clip that coupon and assign it to your Kroger card. When you do that, when you hit the clip button, it links to your specific Kroger card. And then when you go in the store, you'll get that sell price. As well as when you go to them digital coupons, you definitely got to read the fine print once again, because if there's a quantity limit, that's where it's going to be listed. It's not necessarily listed most of the time right here on the main sales ad page. Do you see how they're tricking people? And if you don't know, or you don't really realize, I got to clip, if you will, the digital coupon, that's a Kroger's coupon. So you got to go to another page on their website, find the digital coupons, and then find the sausage one, the same one that you see, and then, like I said, hit the clip button, and then it links to your card. Without doing that, you don't get this price. And you don't get to confirm whether or not there are quantity limits or not. Most often, especially on Kroger's digital coupons and Myers M-Perks items, there are quantity limits. Most of the time, it's like for one. So if you want to go all the way to the store to get one sausage, be my guest. You know, that's not really worth your time, most people's time, to go to just get one sausage that's on sale, one pack of sausage. If you're a single person, maybe, but for most families, like in this case, family of 4, go get one pack of sausage that's on sale. That's not worth your time. The store is actually wasting your time because they're purposely trying to trick you and get you in the store for that one pack of sausage, whether you know you're only getting one or not. And then they're hoping that while you're there, just out of the sheer convenience, you buy other stuff. And most of the other stuff is not on sale. Okay? Again, I told y'all there's a hustle, there's games to this. And these are things, again, if you didn't know or your parent didn't teach you these different little tricks and quirks and quirks, you got to learn them. You need to know them. You need to know how this stuff works, and it's best to know before you go to the store so you can plan accordingly, than to find out and figure this stuff out once you get to the store and you feel like you've been lied to and you've wasted your time and gas coming to the store and you only getting one pack of sausage, you know, and going home, because that's a waste of your time in most cases. Okay, so just a couple of pro tips about the weekly ads that some people literally don't know. If you don't regularly shop at these particular places and you just see these little sales numbers, you go, great, I'm going to get a good deal, and you actually are not. Okay? Okay. Now, also, I want to give a quick shout out. I've recently also added my channel, my One Brothas Mind YouTube channel. I've added my same channel to another platform. It's called Hebrew Connect TV. You see the moniker there at the bottom, Hebrew Connect TV. And my channel, you can find my channel there as well. And one of the reasons why I'm highlighting this channel or this platform, Hebrew Connect TV, is, at least up to this point, there seems to be zero shadow banning, zero filtering of your content. Y'all know YouTube is shadow banning at least One Brothas Mind and many other so-called black content creators, to where we're not getting any views. Our content is not being recommended or pushed like them folks' content is being pushed on YouTube. So we don't get views. Our channel stays small. We can't get to where we can monetize or none of that stuff. So one of the options is for us to find other platforms to move our channels to. And in this case, I've also moved my channel to Hebrew Connect TV. I would encourage you. It's a great platform. From all my recent experience, it seems to be working very well, and especially if you're a content creator, so-called black content creator, or especially if you're a you've confirmed for yourself you're a descendant of the Hebrew Israelites, the real Jews. This is a place where us Hebrews at Hebrew Connect are gathering, one of the places. So check it out, give them a shout, and see what you think. So, okay, now let's move forward. Now that we've gone over the sales ads, the next quick thing I want to cover is couponing. A lot of people, want a coupon. The coupons can save you a lot of money. There's levels to the coupon game, okay? Beginner level, you get your Sunday paper or wherever you get your coupons from. You go in, you cut 5 or 6 coupons out of the coupon section. You take those to the store and you buy those items. You get those discounts. Great. You saved a couple of dollars. But as y'all know, most of y'all, even if y'all never learned how to do it, there's higher levels to couponing. I'm going to give you a brief explanation and then we're going to move forward. There's people that you see will buy 30 or 40 bottles of shampoo at the same time, or whatever the item is. And then they'll hand the cashier a stack of coupons for the same 30 bottles of shampoo. And they'll get $1 off of each bottle of that shampoo, and they'll end up getting a great price, really cheap. Here's how the higher levels of couponing works. Okay? First, you have to have, as you see in the middle of your screen there, you have to have either a free or a cheap source of multiple coupons available. In other words, for example, if you gotta come up with a way, someone where each Sunday, or at least by Monday morning, you can get your hands on, say, 20 leftover Sunday papers that did not sell. Right? You can get your hands on them. Say the best would be for free. You take the coupon section out of each one. For every ketchup coupon that's in one of those coupon packs, because you have 20 of those Sunday papers, now, once you cut them out, you got 20 ketchup coupons. Do you see that? Okay. But couponing experts know, okay, now I got 20 coupons for ketchup. You don't run to the store happy because you got 20 coupons for ketchup. No. You wait until you see a store, whatever store it is, put that same ketchup size and all on sale. They may put it on sale for 50 cents off or whatever the sale is for the item. 50 cents off, 75 cents off, whatever. So the store has a listed sale price like I showed you earlier. Let me flip back to it here if I can. They have a sale price. Let me find one here. Give me just a second. Let me go back up to the top. Start over. All right. Let's say. Oh, there's ketchup right there. You can get 2 bottles of ketchup for $5. So $2.50 each. That's the price that they've got the ketchup marked down to over here on your right of your screen. Okay, so the ketchup is on sale, and you've confirmed that's cheaper than the same ketchup at the other stores. All right, so $2.50, right? In addition to that sale price of $2.50 per bottle, you actually got a coupon for $1 off the same ketchup. So if you go to this store while this sale is on, as long as there's no other couponing restrictions, you can get your 2 bottles of ketchup, and instead of paying $2.50 for each bottle, you're going to pay $1.50 for each bottle because of your added dollar coupon. Do you see that? That's how you maximize your coupons if and when you get them. You wait until there is a store that puts that same item on sale, and you confirm it's a good sale, a cheap sale price. Then you say, okay, let me pull out my coupon for ketchup and go to this particular store and get 5, 10, whatever, however many coupons you got for that item. That's how many you going to buy. And you will scan all of your coupons yourself, or the cashier will scan them. It'll subtract all those $1 coupons off of your total price, and bing, you just saved yourself a bunch of extra money. That's how your so-called extreme couponers do it. Instead of just 5 or 10 coupons, they'll have 20, 30, 40 of them, and they'll just buy all this ketchup. Okay, because eventually you're going to use it. It's just going to take a long time, but you are going to use it. Okay? And you will have saved a lot of money. If you buy 20 bottles of ketchup, you save $20 because your coupons was an extra $1 savings for each. Do you see that? If you get 40, you saved $40. Whatever the case may be, whatever item you may be looking at. Now, understand this. Each store, if you're going to get into couponing, not only do you have to have a free source for coupons or a cheap source for coupons, you have to go to each store's website, if you will, scroll all the way down to the bottom and go into the help or the information tab or link and find that store's couponing policy. And you have to read it from top to bottom. Okay? If you're going to get into couponing, you have to, and then you have to make notes. How many coupons can I use per transaction? Some stores have a limit. How many coupons can I use on an item that's actually on a current sale? Some stores have a limit. How many coupons can I use on an item just in general? Some stores have a limit. And you gotta read and know these limitations, if they exist, before you go into the store with your coupons, so you know how to operate within their policy. Okay? So if their coupon limit at Kroger's is 5 on items that are on sale, then before you go, you know this, you go to Kroger's to get that item, you know you can only get 5 and use 5 coupons per transaction. Right? So you go, you get your 5, scan out, scan your coupons, say wave hi or bye at the people, and you leave the store with your 5 ketchup. Now, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. That limit for 5 if that's what it is. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm just giving that example. That's per transaction, family. Y'all need to listen. Let's say you got your 5 and you went home, on the drive home, you thought to yourself, oh, I forgot to get this when I was at the store. Let me go back to the store and get the other item, or items that I needed to get. And you turn around and you go back to the store right quick because you're already in that area. And you go back in, you're going to do what? You're going to have another transaction, right? Okay, I need y'all to listen, family. So you go get these other items, and while you're in there, you know you got another 5 ketchup coupons in your pocket, right? I need y'all to put it together. I don't know if I can say it. I don't really want to say what you probably should do, but you need to figure that out. If you're actually about to do a completely new transaction and you got 5 additional ketchup coupons in your pocket in this example, put 2 and 2 together, family. You see that? And so, if you will, extreme couponers, if you will, the stores try to put various limits on, or quantity limits, or transaction limits. And so extreme coupons, they know what those are because they've read the policy. So once they read the store's policy and know whatever limits may exist, that tells the couponer how to move, how to operate. To get, say they wanted to get 20 bottles of ketchup. Well, according to this example, if a customer actually bought 20 bottles of ketchup with 5 per transaction limits, that means they would have to, if you do the math, they would have to go to that store 4 times. Or at the very least, do 4 transactions. You see how that works? Read between the lines, family. Okay, so that's how extreme couponing works. You have to educate yourself on each store's coupon policy is different, because if you're in there doing, say, your transaction, or your, say, second transaction for 5 more ketchups, and one of the staff members, cashiers, come to you and they try to dispute what you're doing, they say, hey, you just bought some of these, you can't come back and get any more right now. That's against the policy. You go, wait a minute, the policy actually says 5 per transaction. I'm doing a new transaction. So you can clap back at them. And if they still are trying to tell you you ask to speak with the manager to confirm, not to fight, but just to confirm. Say, I want to confirm. I forgot some other items. As you see, I got some other items in here on my second trip into the store, and I decided to pick up some more ketchup. This is a completely new transaction. Is this a violation of your coupon policy or not? The managers know the coupon policy. And in most cases, they're going to say, no, ma'am, no, sir. Go ahead, scan and check out and scan your coupons and everything. You're okay. Right? And they're going to go explain to their staff member, as long as it's a brand new or a new transaction, that's within policy. We can't stop them. She came back to the store to get some stuff they forgot. They're more than welcome to do another transaction. And they're just, in most cases, that's what's going to happen, and they're going to just move on. You're going to get your additional items. No problem. You're going to move out. But every now and then you'll get a manager like, no, you can't get it. No, I don't care. You can't get it. You just go, okay, leave your stuff there and leave the store. You don't fight and argue with them. You just leave your stuff there and leave that specific store. Okay? But you still have options. As you know, my extreme couponers know, that's just one location and one manager that's not following the policy. Again, you don't argue, you don't fight with them. You just go, okay, and you leave. If they stand on not allowing you to do a new transaction. And you just go to your next nearest location for that store. You know, and most of the times, the next location, they ain't even gonna ask you about however many times you do transactions. You just go through, do however many transactions you feel you need to do to get what you want, and they won't even stop you. And what that does is that tells you over time, or tells the couponers, the serious ones over time, which locations are the best ones to go to when you're actually looking to use significant quantities of coupons, like groups of 10 or 20 or 30, and you want to get all those items of the same item. You see how that works? So over time, a couponer learns this store at this location over here, this store at this location over there, this one down there, this one up north, this one over here. You learn the best stores to go get your couponing deals. And then you just keep frequenting those stores. The ones that don't really hassle you about anything. That's all. And so you're still getting your item. You may have to drive a few extra blocks to get those sales items as well as use your coupons, but end result, you still save the money that you're saving. You still getting 10, 20, 30, 40 catch-ups or whatever it is. And it's all good in the hood, right? That's how that works for extreme couponing. But you have to read the coupon policies, know them, and learn the better store locations as you go through the process. And trust me, most of these stores, they're looking for the serious coupon people. They can tell because you got 10, 15 ketchups on the belt or in your cart to scan. They're watching you. They're like, she got all these coupons. I bet she got a bunch of coupons. I bet he got a bunch of coupons. Yep. You scan all them ketchups and then you go beep, beep, beep. And you keep beeping with all your coupons. And as long as you're within their limits, whatever listed, they can't say nothing to you. They can't stop you. Okay? But again, it starts when you really want to save significant money with couponing. You need to find a free or very cheap way of getting your hands on multiple stacks of multiples of, say, the Sunday paper coupon inserts. 10, 20, 30 of them or more, however many you want to get. And then you, of course, got to sit there, cut them all out. And that's why couponers have the little photo album books full of coupons. Because again, if you got 10, 20 ketchup coupons, you don't run to the store immediately and use those. You wait until you see a sale like this in one of the sales ads, like I showed you. Wait a minute, let me put it back up. Right here, where the ketchup is. Okay, this store has ketchup on sale. Is that a good sale price? Yes. Okay, I'm going to go to that store, and then I'm going to also use my coupon. So you're going to get that item very, very cheaply and save yourself a whole lot of money. That's how it works. Okay? So, yeah. That's your couponing brief description of how to do it and really save your family a whole lot of money. A lot of stay-at-home parents or stay-at-home moms get into this because they got the time to sit there and cut out all these coupons, and they put them, like I said, in a little photo book and look for the sales and pull out whatever items coupon that they got, and they go get a bunch of it. Of course, following each store's coupon policies. Okay? Is it worth it? Absolutely. You can save your family thousands of dollars per year doing serious couponing. That's why people do it. And I mean, I'm not kidding. Thousands of dollars. In one, with just the ketchup, if you got 20 of them, you saved yourself $20 just with 20 ketchups. Y'all gonna use them ketchups over the year. They ain't gonna go bad. And then that's just one item. Say you get 20 of another item over here, 30 of that item. That's $40. That's $70 worth of savings. Each item that, for every coupon, especially the $1 off coupons, every one of those dollars is money. That's $1 you keep it in your pocket. And it adds up quick. That's why people do it. But again, people that are successful at couponing, the number one thing, they have a free or a very cheap source, as you see in the middle of your screen, of getting these Sunday coupon ad out of the Sunday papers. Whether they are the Sunday paper carrier themselves. Some people go to stores on Monday mornings in their areas and try to buy the leftover Sunday papers for cheap. Some stores will sell you that. There's a bunch of different ways, but trust me, I'm not the only person that know these ways. All the couponers are doing the same stuff. So you can check at your stores and see if they'll sell you the leftover papers. Most of the time, either the leftover papers are already gone, or the actual manager of the store is keeping them to use them coupons himself or herself. They'll say, no, these are mine. It's rough out there in the coupon streets, y'all. But if you can find a good free or cheap source for your coupons, half the battle is won. Then it's just learning the policies at the different stores and doing your shopping. Okay? All right, so let's move on to our next item. Like I said, we started off with our family of 4. That's what we started off with, and we're going to stay there. One of the other major things, some of y'all ladies ain't gonna like hearing this, but stay with me. One of the other major savings points for, in this example, family of 4, is whether or not one parent becomes a stay-at-home parent. And you need to do some calculations. Calculate the calculations to figure out if one of you, in this example of a family of 4, if it's going to be more financially beneficial for one of you to be a stay-at-home parent. I know you both working. You both got a job. A lot of wives are working, right? But depending on what state you live in and what city you live in. Well, let's say this. Let's use the average incomes, right? Most in the U.S., the average incomes for most working ladies is about $45,000, $47,000 per year. And some of y'all going, that's pretty good money. Okay, stay with me. All right. Well, if you take that gross, like you see on the left, you're going to end up with a net the actual cash money that you end up in your pocket with per year is going to be about $37,000 if you subtract all your deductions like they do out of each of your checks. So you actually got about $37,000 that you're adding to your family's income. Well, then you got to start asking questions and calculating the calculations. How much does it cost for, if that's your ladies, that's your income, how much does it cost me to work my job? There's a real cost for everybody that's working a job. There's a yearly cost, a monthly cost, a yearly cost, right? So how do you calculate that? Well, do you have a car? So first, just not in any particular order, let's go. Do you have a car? Yes. How much did that car cost you? Or how much is the car payment? You take your car payment and you multiply it by 12. Most of these are going to be all these are going to be multiplied by 12. And this is I got $6,000 here on the left of your screen for the car payment. That's a $500 per month car payment. It's $6,000 per year. Okay? Follow this pattern. How much is your car insurance per month? Multiply it by 12. You'll get a figure. How much, if both parents are working in this family of 4, they're paying for daycare, as you saw in part 1. They're paying over $2,000 a month in daycare. So $2,000 a month in daycare, multiply that by 12. You're getting close to $30,000 just for daycare that the family is paying out. Keep going. The extra food expense for you working. Miss Jones, sometimes you're eating lunch, eating out or at work or whatever for lunch. What the amount of money you're spending there. Or, you're buying stuff at the grocery store, quick and easy stuff, microwavable stuff to carry for your lunch. And when you get off work, a lot of times you don't feel like cooking. What are you doing? You stop and buying fast food on the way home. All of these different little amounts of money add up. You may not think they don't, but they do. They add up, and they add up very quickly. Over the month, you may find you spending $150, $200, eating out, or even more per month. Your family of 4. Okay, multiply that, whatever that number is, by 12. That's where you get up to about $4,000, $5,000 a year. That's a significant chunk of money. All this extra eating out because both mom and dad is too tired to cook. Right? Okay. Clothing. And usually ladies, but also a lot of men, if you work in a professional environment, you're enduring clothing costs, significant ones as well, because you're buying new suits, new shirts, new outfits, ladies, whatever. You're buying this stuff to have something new, something snazzy to wear to work every day. So you're spending a significant amount of money each month. You're buying a few outfits each month to keep your wardrobe updated. And don't forget any cleaners costs in there as well. In addition, how much is it costing you to launder all these different outfits of clothing that you're wearing at home? The cost of your laundry supplies. You got to add that in there too. And you will, just like I have here on the left, you will come to several $1,000s worth of costs of clothing. You got to do the math. See, it's these types of little expenses that most people are not counting. And that's why they can't figure out where their money's going, why they're broke and struggling so bad. You have to do the calculations, look through your bank statement or whatever, and add up all these different little charges, all the eat out places, add up for the month, that amount of money. Everywhere you bought lunch, add that up. Add all this stuff up, clothing, same thing, for the month, and you will come up with these amounts for your family that you're spending. Same thing with gas. You got, and the gas is not how much gas so much both mom and dad, it's not how much they're spending in gas together, but how much is, say, for example, mom's gas per month by itself. Multiply that amount by 12. Okay? In this example I'm giving, this $47,000, we're looking at the average working wife's income. Okay? And once you make a list of all these expenses of what it costs mom or to work, as you see on your screen, you're going to end up with a significant amount of money. Potentially, as you see here, all or more than what mom is actually even making at her job annually, or the same, or extremely close to it. Then you got some decisions to make. Okay? You got some real decisions to make, because if the cost for mom, the average mom to work or wife to work, is more than what she's making at her job, guess what? That's a pretty easy decision. It's time for mom to become a stay-at-home parent, because y'all not gonna make it. Y'all actually paying more for mom to be able to get up and go to work every day. You're losing money. Or you're just barely breaking, mom is just barely breaking even. Or let's say she's ended up with maybe a $3,000 to $5,000 profit from working. Okay, that's a small profit. It's not, is it really worth that small profit for mom to keep working? I know, ladies, I know y'all turning your nose up, but this is, math don't lie. Okay, now look on the right side of these same calculations. If mom decides, after you figure out, it's not really profiting me or my family for me to work and make this little $45,000 a year or whatever it is, right? Okay, well then, if I stop working, I can subtract all of these expenses from how much it costs, all these expense amounts from what we're spending as a family. I can subtract them. Our family's expenses significantly drop, because if I'm not working, I'm not spending these amounts anymore. So my husband may make 70, 80,000 or 100,000, whatever, but I'm making 45, 50. If I'm not spending these, if I'm not working, I'm not spending this $50,000. So I'm not financially hurting my family, or I realize I'm not really benefiting my family financially to work. I need to make more money, and if I'm unable to significantly increase my salary, then it's more beneficial financially for my family if I stay at home and not work. Because then that's a car payment we don't got. That's the car insurance we ain't got to pay. That's daycare we ain't got to pay. I'm at home with my kids. I'm my own daycare. I'm taking care of my kids, feeding them the way I want to feed them, and educating them, early education. I'm able to do all that stuff myself, etc., etc., etc. So a lot of, like in this guy's case, his two-family home, if his wife is not making significantly more than their city or their state's median income for ladies, it's probably time for her to realize it's time for her to stop working and stay at home. Or if the case situation is flipped, say the wife makes significantly higher income and the husband's income is more average, he may need to stay home. I'm not saying it's just a ladies thing. It's a lot of households in the U.S. here. One person makes the highest income, and then the other spouse makes an income, but is it above the median income amount for most people working in that city? In most cases, it is not. And if it's not above that median amount, you do the calculations, figure out how much it actually costs that person that makes the lowest income in the household, how much it costs them to work, you come to realize they're not really benefiting the family with their income. It's actually causing more cost. So an adjustment, at least financially, the numbers say an adjustment needs to be made for y'all to function and survive. Now, as long as you can do this where one parent stops working, as long as the other parent has a high enough income, the other spouse, I should say, has a high enough income to where you guys can still pay your bills reasonably comfortably, and everything's okay in that finance wise. Okay? But if both of y'all making $45,000 a year, y'all both got to keep working. Y'all can't afford for one of y'all to stop working. Do you see that? But if the income, one spouse's income is significantly higher than the others, and the others around the median U.S. income about $45,000, that's something you definitely need to seriously look at. And if you, as I said, if you add the cost up, you may be looking at an opportunity where one spouse can stop working, or it's even best. Okay? Do the math. Calculate the calculations, and let's move on. With that stay-at-home spouse, if you make that transition, there's a whole gang of side hustles. Depending on the age of your children, there's a whole gang of side hustles that the stay-at-home spouse can get into. Especially if they have certain skills or talents or whatever, there's a whole gang of side hustles. Ladies, even if you don't have any extra skills or not, and your children are still really young, say they're not even school age yet, you can at least temporarily start your own daycare service in your home, at your home with your kids. Say you got a 2 and a 3-year-old of your own. So you're at home with them all day anyway, right? Well, in most cases, you got family members and cousins and friends and stuff. They got young kids too. And in most cases, they're paying the maximum high prices that you find at all of the brick and mortar licensed daycare centers, right? Whereas you can find out what those prices are, and you could say if somebody's paying $2,500 a month for daycare at a normal place, and you're a stay-at-home mom with your 2 kids, you can say, hey, I'll give you can pay me $1,800, maybe $2,000, and I'll do daycare for little Johnny right here. Just bring him over to my house. I'm at home all day, right? I'm already taking care of my kids. It could be little Johnny, little Susie. You can get 2, 3, 4 other kids if you network. And the benefit to those families is they get to save some money on their total daycare costs because they're getting daycare from you, a private daycare provider. And most of y'all is asking the question, do you have to have a license to do daycare? No. Listen, family. If little Johnny and little Susie and little Bobby is your cousins, you don't have a license for your little cousins to come over and stay at your house, spend time at your house. Nobody can even come in your house and say, try to make sure you got this or that, or, you know, you got this many restrooms and all. You ain't got none of that is even gonna happen because you're just taking care of your little cousins, right? Make sure you're listening, family. As well as many other side hustles that are available. Some stay-at-home moms end up getting into like baking or doing catering, you know, making a special line of cookies or something, whatever, you know. Usually if you're a stay-at-home person and you got enough go-getter inside of you, you usually pretty quickly come up with some kind of little side hustle that you can do while you're taking care of your children at home. Okay? That you can make all kind of extra money and you're just helping your family. Or you start couponing on the higher levels like I was talking about earlier. That's making and saving your family thousands of dollars a year. Do you see that? A lot of stay-at-home parents do higher level couponing and they got side hustles. There's all kind of stuff you can do. Especially once your kids become school age and they're now at school most of the day. And one parent is a stay-at-home parent. Okay, what are you doing all day? Other than cooking some, dinner or whatever, what are you doing all day? If you got some go-getter in you enough, you're going to come up with some side hustles, man, and you really start benefiting. You really see the value of why you stop working when you start making side hustle money. Right. And side hustle money, if you do it a certain kind of way, could be tax-free. Read between the lines, family. Cash is king. Okay? Let's move on. So, real quick, like I mentioned earlier, you can reduce your price for rent as well as your mortgage prices by switching things up and buying a single family home that you actually can afford and pay off in a 10-15 year mortgage loan, fixed rate mortgage loan. Okay? So you say, okay, Katie Smooth, I'm listening, I hear you. Is there anything else I need to be aware of if I'm looking to switch, either buy a single family home or downsize to a single family home? Well, the single family homes that you're looking at, you want to check the areas to see if there's current new development happening or new development that's planned by the city to occur. What that development is it significant? That helps you understand what the property tax is currently. You can find that out. And what if there's a lot of development coming, the property tax is going to go up. So you will have to expect that if you buy into this single family home. But because it's a single family home, your mortgage is already significantly cheaper than what your rent was or what your larger house mortgage was. So when the property tax increases do come, you still okay. They still ain't added up to more than what your previous rents and mortgages were. Okay? Of course, you want to check the crime area in the area. There's some hoods, no, it's a no. You can't buy a house in that hood. It's just too much hell going on. It's not safe. But there's other hoods, like a hood where I live in, that it's not bad at all. Are there some things that do occur here or there? Yes, but that happens in every neighborhood, even in the suburbs. So just because something happened don't mean it's a bad place, a neighborhood to live in. Suburbs have crime too. Okay? It's just, the question is how much crime has happened. There is a limit before you really are in an unsafe area. Okay? How are the schools in that area? If you're young or a young couple, of course, you need to understand and research how good are the schools? What schools are the school zones that you'll be moving into? And if you don't like those schools and you want your kids to go to better schools or schools in other areas, most suburban or township schools, whatever y'all want to call them, they allow students to attend their schools that don't live in their school boundaries. They do allow it. You just have to contact the schools, ask the question, and find out, what paperwork you gotta fill out to get it all set up. Because of course they're not providing your child transportation. In that type of instance, you have to provide it. So that's the next question. If we move and buy this house based on our work schedules, or especially if one of us is a stay-at-home parent and we got that extra car, used car that we bought that I mentioned in part one, we shouldn't have no problem transporting our children to the better school system that we want our children to go to, taking them and picking them up every day. That should be not a major problem. Do you see how that works? Even if you both are still working, you have to ask yourself that question. What time do we both have to be at work? Do we got time enough for one of us to take our kids to school, and maybe the other person who gets off early enough is able to pick them up? You got to figure all these types of questions out before you buy this single family home, to make sure all the major logistics are going to work for you. Okay? Because I'd say probably in most cities, the neighborhoods with the single family homes often are not the school districts that most people want their kids to go to. Sometimes the districts are okay. It's not a guarantee either way, but you do have to look into it. Okay? All right, let's move forward. We're almost done, y'all. Again, real quick, this slide, and as well as several others that I'm about to share with you, I'm not going to go completely in detail on them, but it's just, you either take this option on the left and buy a single family home like I've been describing, or you're going to end up, if you try to rent your whole life, and sooner or later your health or your income is going to come up short and you're going to end up homeless. Okay? Or living in your car or whatever. That's certain thing. Okay? Your choice. You can keep renting if you want to. And ladies, you can't sit around and wait for a husband to come drop out of the tree from somewhere. For a lot of y'all, it's not gonna happen. So you gotta make moves to secure yourself and where you're gonna live as you get older. Okay? So ultimately, you got a place to live once your health stops you from working or your age stops you from working and making that. You're not going to make that same amount of money that you're making today your whole life. It's not going to happen. You'll make more money in most cases as you get older, but at a certain point it's going to stop, and then the companies are going to start to be ready to get rid of you because they don't feel you're as productive anymore because of your health or your age or both. By then, you better have a house paid off so you still got somewhere to live, because if you don't have a house paid off and you're still renting, you in a world of hurt at that point. I don't wish that on nobody. Okay? So let's move on. And be clear, as I did in another report. Go to One Brothas Mind, go to the live tab or the video tab, scroll down, you'll find this report. A lot of our white brothers and sisters, due to the increase in the rents and mortgages and all this craziness that's going on, guess what they're doing? They're doing this. They're coming right actually to the hood and buying up, as some might say, our single family homes in mostly or all black neighborhoods. They're doing that because they are following exactly what I've just previously explained before. Okay? So they showing up. I know I woke up in my neighborhood one day about a year and a half ago. I had a brand new white sister that was my neighbor, and I was like, hi. Hi. It's happening. So don't be surprised. Okay? Let's move forward. So again, the general thinking, especially with a lot of our white brothers and sisters that's been living out in the suburbs and all this stuff, now that the economy done went to trash and they struggling, a lot of them, their mindset has changed to like, hey man, one man's trash might be my treasure. Let me go get one of these single family homes in the hood. It ain't that bad in the hood. It ain't that bad having so-called black neighbors, and so on and so forth. At least we can afford to live. Yeah. So if they're doing it, family, many of you definitely need to be doing this. Okay? So again, as you age and your health starts to fade, and you're not able to work and make as much money as you once did. By that time, most people say by the age of 50, your single family home or whatever home you got, you need to have it paid off by the age of 50, where you have the deed. You're no longer paying mortgages. Because if it hasn't happened already, soon after that age, your income is going to drop. And if you don't have your house paid off and you still renting, I already showed you what your options are. You in a world of hurt. And even if you're in your 40s, 45, 50 right now, and you hadn't done this yet, you're still working, making good money, you got 10 more years at least, in most cases, most of y'all, to go grab one of these single family homes really quick and pay that work for this 10 years and pay that home off real quick. So you got a spot. So it's not too late. If you're over 60 and you haven't paid for a home yet, and you don't have the deed, you have my prayers, because unless you have some other arrangement, not owning a home, life is about to get really hard for you if it hasn't already. Okay? All right. Again, if you've paid off your home, this graphic on your screen is if you're still paying rent or a high mortgage on one of these $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 houses, whatever. Your bill, your monthly expense is really high. So you got to make enough money every month to pay that. In this example, rent or mortgage, utilities, food, car, and all your other expenses, you're paying out every month about $4,000 or more. If you add up all your expenses. Now, let's contrast this to where you bought you a single family home, you paid it off in 10 to 15 years on a fixed rate mortgage. Now that it's paid off, you no longer are paying a mortgage or rent or anything. All you're paying is annual property taxes, whatever that is for your property. Your monthly utility costs, your monthly food costs, things like your home insurance, and whatever other small expenses you have. And look, your total monthly expense, not paying rent or mortgage, but only property tax, significantly drops down per month. Let's say you're on Social Security and that's your income at this point. You paid your house off, but now you've retired and you're on Social Security. Most people's Social Security check will either pay this amount or pay this full amount on the right in your green, or it'll come really close to paying that. And a lot of people got 2 Social Security checks coming in for both one for each spouse. So they're able to handle this. And they have their home paid off. They ain't got nobody can really force them out. They're good. They don't owe nobody nothing for a place to live. They're good. But if you don't own and have not paid off your home, you still got to find somewhere to pay rent. And trying to find somewhere to pay rent if you're just on Social Security and you don't have, one of the other legs of resource for retirement, like you don't have significant savings or another, life can get real rough. That's why you see a lot of people out living in their cars and in little trailers and vans and all kind of options. They literally don't have enough income coming in to still be able to afford to pay rent to someone. The prices have gone too high. Okay? Again, you can take all this information and say, nah, I disagree, or that's wrong, or whatever you want to say. You can do that. Do you? Check back with me when you hit 55, 60 and see how your plan worked out for you, especially in regards to housing and your regular monthly expenses. Okay? If it didn't work out, you might remember this 2-part report and be like, man, I should have done that. And I'll probably be better off right now. Because be clear, family, all of these assistance programs, y'all already seen it if you've been watching the news. They're working on eliminating all of them. It's coming. I know I live in the state of Indiana. The state of Indiana literally does not have a Section 8 program anymore. It's been shut down due to corruption. So that's one gone. In the state of Indiana, we got a Republican mayor or whatever. He done put in all kind of new restrictions to the Medicaid program, trying to kick people off of that, as well as TANF and the SNAP programs. They're trying to shut them completely off, and they ultimately soon will. So you got to get to the point, family, where you are fully self-sufficient on your own income as quickly as you can. Side hustle, whatever, self-business, whatever it is. Because you're not going to be able to rely on these things, especially as you age out of the working age group. For many of us, by the time we get up there to that age, these things are going to be gone. That's their plan, right? Or even worse, if there is some kind of assistance you're able to get and that you qualify for, they're going to make you jump through all kind of fiery hoops like you see in the top left of your screen, Revelations 13, 16 through 17. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free or bond, to receive the mark in their right hand. Why? Because you need help. You need food assistance. You need housing assistance. You need medical, healthcare assistance, whatever. You're like, I can't afford to pay for these things for myself. I need this assistance. They're going to say, okay, take this mark and you can have it. That day is coming. Be clear on that, family. You want this type of success. To be able to independently provide for yourself now and after you retire. Okay? And as many of you know, family, most of us, we know all of this craziness going on with the tariffs and what Mr. Cheeto Man is doing. I don't call him by his name. He's Mr. Cheeto Man over here, One Brothas Mind. I don't give him no pub. What they're doing, these companies are doing, raising all the prices up on everything, lying about the reasons why they're doing this, all greed. And all these new restrictions, what the 5-0 is doing, murking us out here in these streets. Y'all, everything that's going on, y'all know, even like the new deportations that are happening. You know who they are practicing for. If you didn't know by now, family, it's us. The so-called black people. The foundational black Americans. They're working on a scam, a scheme, a plan to try to get us out of here. Because that's their real target. They're just practicing on everybody else. Slowly changing the laws, adding new laws so they can actually do what they really want to do. Okay? Why? Because they know, or they soon will know, that we are Yah's chosen people. Whether they deny it, they dispute it, they hate it, they despise it. They know, or they soon will know. And that's their primary motivation, in addition to the just sheer hatred or why they're ultimately going to be targeting us. Okay, family? So, because of that, as I do here at One Brothas Mind, I implore you to repent now. Read your Bible, read your scripture. Okay? Read your scriptures. Get into it. Study, learn if you haven't. Read the whole Bible. Learn who you are. Don't count on no pork chop preacher. They're not telling y'all or teaching the whole truth of Torah, of scripture. That's why you don't know who you are today. You got to read it first page to the last page. Don't worry about what you don't understand the first time you read through it. Just read through the whole thing the first time. The Holy Spirit will give you understanding for what is for you the first time and each time that you read and study from it. Okay? You're not going to understand 100% of everything in Scripture, in Torah, when you read it the first time. That's why it's one of the reasons why it's called or defined as the living word. Each time you study it, each time you read it, you understand and learn more and more. That's how it works. Okay, family? And as you're doing that, you learn who you are and whose you are, and you're ready to commit your life to Yahushua HaMashiach as your Lord and personal Savior. Repent and return, as it says here in the scripture, return unto the Lord thy Yah. And when you do that, you make the choice to obey or shall obey his voice according to all that Yah has commanded. Not cherry pick stuff. All the statutes, all the ordinances, all of the commandments. There's nothing in scriptures that tells you to celebrate Christmas or Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving. Nothing. But there are other celebrations in scripture, in the Torah, that it tells you to honor these days forever, but you're not doing. One example is Passover. Many others celebrate Feast of Dedication, Feast of Unleavened Bread. I could go on and on and on. But you don't know about these celebrations. Why? Because you haven't read them in the Bible. Once you read about them in the Bible, you go, wait a minute. It says right here, we're supposed to be keeping Passover forever. Why am I going to church on Sundays for Easter? Then you got some decisions to make. Do you understand? Because it's not true repentance if you don't change your ways or turn from your wicked ways, your pagan holidays. You can't say, oh, okay, I've rededicated myself, but you still doing all the same stuff, the same pagan holidays, the same idolatrous activities. Your repentance is void. Okay, family, then once you do all of that, get your obedience game to scripture back on point. While you're doing that, you also can be doing this, like you will read in Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. What is it that renewed your mind? The Torah, the scripture that you've been reading and studying for yourself. That's what has renewed your mind. That's what has revealed to you and showed you what you're called to obey and the ordinances and statutes you're called to follow. By obeying those, you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of Yah. Do you see that? You're now changing how you're living to living differently, to living set apart, living as being obedient to Torah, to Yah's word. And so now, if you're doing that, you should also be looking at these things on this list on the left of your screen. How can I change how I'm making my income to support myself and my family? What adjustments in the home that I have do I need to make to be as independent living as possible? So when they start, if and when, like what had happened just about a week or so ago, they cut off, the power went out over in Europe, or was it Spain and Portugal? Yeah. Do you got your preps together? Are you able to live and function independently of their electricity, their water, their security, these little cell phone tracking devices all of us have? Do you have alternate options of transportation? These are the things that we're supposed to be working on now while we have time, because the disasters and judgments of Yah are coming. And when those happen, the more preps we have ready to go, the better we're going to be able to survive and live through those situations than not survive. Do you understand? Get your preps up. A lot of the issues that you need to be working on is right on your screen. Get your water barrels, for those that don't know what those are, on the bottom left-hand corner. Those are 50-gallon barrels that you can put reserve water in. Pause the video. Look this slide over. Gives you really good ideas. I got many other videos where I go in detail and go over individual things that you need to be collecting and getting together for yourself and your family at your home, so you're living set apart and you're able to survive a lot of the things, or all of the things, that are coming. More preps. Yeah, family. How about some other skills? How about learning how to raise backyard chickens? If you don't know how to fish, learning how to fish and hunt. Reteaching ourselves to grow our own food in our own gardens, in our backyards, or on our balconies or porches, whatever the case may be, in your garage, whatever you got to do. The more food and different types of food you grow, the more you and your family can eat. Literally, if you got backyard chickens and you got a nice little garden in your backyard, preferably a mobile, secure raised bed garden system that I promote here at One Brothas Mind. Again, go to the live and video tab, scroll down, you will find my garden. If you got something like that that's secure, and you grow a good variety of food, and say you got backyard chickens, guess what you got? You got vegetables and potatoes and stuff and chicken and eggs to eat every day. Even when they close the grocery store, you still got these things to eat. You and your family gonna be eating good. Especially as long as you got it secure. You might want to not plant your garden in the ground of your backyard or in buckets or raised beds that you're setting in your backyard. Why? Because as your neighbors, times get hard on them, and you're the one with all this food growing next door, guess what's going to happen? Karen and Darren and Pookie and them is coming, and they're going to clean you out. That's why here at One Brothas Mind, I promote a mobile, secure, raised bed gardening system. To get the details on that, I already told you where to go. And be clear, family, y'all getting this work today, y'all getting solutions. Smash the like button, smash the like, share this report on all your social media with all your peoples, and be sure to be subscribed to One Brothas Mind, where we bring you the information, facts, and solutions you need. We already just discussed this. It's coming. If you're not living and set up and prepped up independently and set apart, you're going to quickly fall victim to this, because you're going to need their stuff to survive. Do you understand that? Just like in the last little test run they did with the Predator, what we call here at One Brothas Mind, that thing that took out millions of people all over the world, we call that the Predator. And they came up with the ooh-wee, that little thing they try to make everybody get to keep working your job. And you said, well, you didn't want to get it, but I gotta work my job. If I don't work my job, I can't make money and take care of myself and my family. Do you see how that works? So they made you feel like you had no other choice. And most people, or a lot of people at least, they took the ooh-wee because they felt like they didn't have no other choice. When you did, you could just not take it and trust Yah. Or have been prepped up, saved up to be able to just comfortably trust Yah. Do you know what the outcome was going to be if you trust Yah and not take it? No. Might you have lost your job? Yes. But if most of y'all ain't been paying attention, most people that lost their jobs because they didn't take the ooh-wee, they filed lawsuits. And they won those lawsuits. They literally won those lawsuits, and they got their jobs back, many of them, or got back pay and, extra money for their losses. They ain't reporting that, but it's happening. Do your Google. Get on your Google and research, people who lost their jobs during the Predator. Did they win their lawsuits? And you'll see a whole bunch of reports of, yes, they've won or are winning all their lawsuits, getting most, if not all, their money back. Okay? Set apart, family. This is what we're all should be working on. Why? Because our King is coming soon. And this concludes this report on One Brothas Mind. We thank you for joining us. And as a part of the new Black media, B1 choices are mandatory and being on code is required. So never fear. Yeshua HaMashiach is with you always. Shalom.